Today, we will be learning and meeting the officiating officials for the sport athletics. So before anything else, I would like to share to you what was my reference in this report. So as you can see, the book that I used as my reference, the book entitled The Referee, which was published on June 2012 by the IAAF, or the World Athletics, or known as the International Amateur Athletic Federation and International Association of Athletics Federation, in the international governing body for the sport athletics. So here are the contents. As we can see on the book, we have the first chapter, which is the athletes. Second chapter is the officials. The third chapter would be the running and race walking events. The fourth chapter is the field events. The fifth chapter is the jumping events. The sixth chapter is throwing events. The seventh chapter is the combined events. The eighth chapter is the indoor competition. The ninth chapter is the world records, and the 10th chapter will be the anti-doping. But before that, today we will discuss only for the officiating officials for the sport athletics. So let's begin. Today we will know the different officiating officials of the sport athletics. But before that, I would like to introduce to you the organizational president of the IAAF, which is Mr. Limaindia. Before we proceed to the officiating officials, I would like to take note of this. So the golden rule of a track officials is on the list. So first, no athlete should be allowed to gain an unfair advantage, and no athlete should have to suffer an unfair disadvantage. So an effective official is prepared. So he or she should have for heat a sunscreen, hat, water to drink, gloves, boots, or other things that he can use. An effective official is knowledgeable, consistent, impartial, calm, and composed, dress appropriately, and most importantly, he or she is invisible. So we will focus on officiating officials, as we see here in the chapter 2, the officials for the IAAF book. First would be the international officials. Under the Rule 110, at competitions organized, the following officials should be appointed international. First would be the organizational delegates. Next would be the technical delegates, the medical delegates. Fourth would be the doping control delegates. Fifth is the international technical officials, or the international cross-country, road running, and mountain running officials, and area technical officials. And the sixth would be the international race walking judges, or the area race walking judges. The seventh would be the international road course measurer, the international starter, the international photo finish judge, and lastly is the jury of appeal. So first would be the organizational delegates under Rule 111. The organizational delegates shall maintain close relation with the organizing committee at all times and report regularly to the IAAF Council, and they shall deal unnecessarily with matters concerning duties and financial responsibilities of the organizing member and the organizing committee. They shall cooperate with the technical delegates. Next will be the technical delegates under Rule 112. The technical delegates, in conjunction with the organizing committee, which shall afford them all necessary help, are responsible for ensuring that all technical arrangements are in complete conformity with IAAF technical rules and the IAAF Track and Field Facilities Manual. The technical delegates shall submit written reports as appropriate to the preparation for the competition and shall cooperate with the organizational delegates. According to the Rule 112, the technical delegates are mainly concerned with the technical matters related to the competition itself. However, technical delegates will become involved in tasks which are not directly competition issues. This situation shall not be regarded as overstepping their functions, as for most matters, have a bearing in the competition itself. This emphasizes the general need for the cooperation between all officials involved in the arranging of a competition. So here's the organization network. As you can see, the technical delegates and its branches. So under the technical delegates will be the competition director and the other branches of the organizing network. Rule 112 states that the following duties of the technical official in a more concise manner following the revision in 2011. First is to ensure that all technical arrangements are in complete conformity with IAAF technical rules. Submit proposals for the timetable of events. Submit proposals for the entry standards. Submit proposals for the implements to be used. Determine the qualifying standards for the field events. Determine the basis on which preliminary rounds will be arranged for the track events. Ensure that the technical regulations are issued. Control the entries and when appropriate reject them for technical reasons. Arrange the heats and qualifying rounds and the groups of combined competition. Submit written reports on the preparation for the competition. Cooperate with the organizational delegates. And lastly, in the competition under Rule 1.1, the technical delegates shall chair the technical meeting and shall brief the technical officials. In summary, the technical delegates are a link between the council and the local organizational committee. IAAF and other governing bodies rely on the technical delegates that all is proceeding according to the technical rules and regulation. In the relation to the local organization committee, the technical delegates function in an advisory capacity shall be ready to assist in every way. They take part in planning of the competition and serve the council during the period. The matter needed for this decision on competition. It must be emphasized that the technical delegates shall work in close and open cooperation with the local organizers and the other appointed delegates. The success of the technical delegates' effort depends on this teamwork. Medical delegate. The medical delegate shall have ultimate authority on all medical matters. He or she shall ensure that adequate facilities for medical examination, treatment, and emergency care will be available at the site of the competition, and that medical attention can be provided where athletes are accommodated. Doping control delegates under Rule 114. The doping control delegate shall ensure that suitable facilities are provided for the conduct of doping control. He shall be responsible for all matters relating to doping control. International technical officials or the ITOs and the international cross-country, road running, and mountain running officials or ICROs. This is under Rule 115, where ITOs are appointed and the technical delegates shall appoint the chief ITO among the appointed ITOs, if one was not appointed previously by the relevant body. Whenever possible, the chief ITO shall assign at least one ITO for every event on the program. The ITO shall provide all necessary support to the referee of the event. The ITOs must be present at all times when an event to which they have been assigned is in progress. They should ensure that the conduct of the competition is in full conformity with the IAAF technical rules, the technical regulations, and the relevant decisions made by the technical delegates. The International Race Walking Judges. Under Rule 116, the panel of International Race Walking Judges shall be established by the IAAF Race Walking Committee, using criteria approved by the IAAF Council. The race walking judges appointed for all international meetings must be member of the panel of the International Race Walking Judges. International Road Race Measure. Under Rule 117, at competitions organized, an international road race course measurer shall be appointed to verify the courses where the road events are held entirely or partially outside the stadium. The appointed course measurer shall be a member of the IAAF or the AIMS panel of International Road Course Measurers. The course should be measured in a good time before the competition. The measurer will check and certify the course if he finds it conforms of the IAAF rules for road races. He shall cooperate with the organizing committee in the course arrangement and witness the conduct of the race to ensure that the course run by athletes follows the same course that was measured and approved. He shall furnish an appropriate certificate to the technical delegates. International Starter and International Photo Finish Judge. This is under Rule 118. At all competitions under Rule 121 held in a stadium, an international starter and an international photo finish judges shall be appointed by IAAF for the relevant area association. The international starter shall start races and undertake any other duties assigned to him by the technical delegates. The international photo finish judge shall supervise all photo finish function. Jury of Appeal. This is under Rule 119. At all competitions organized, a jury of appeal which should normally consist of 3, 5, or 7 persons shall be appointed. One of its members shall be the chairman and the other the secretary. If and when considered as appropriate, the secretary may be a person not included in the jury. The primary function of the jury shall be to deal with all appeals under Rule 146 and with any matters arising during the course of the meeting which are referred to it for decision. Video recording under Rule 150. In competitions, whenever possible, in other competitions, an official video recording for all events to the satisfaction of the technical delegates shall be made. It should be sufficient to demonstrate the accuracy of performances and any violation of the rules. The officials of the competition. Under the Rule 120, the organizing committee of a competition shall appoint all officials. The following list comprises the officials considered necessary for the major international competitions. The organizing committee may, however, vary this according to local circumstances. The management officials: 1 competition director, 1 meeting manager, 1 technical manager, 1 event presentation manager. The competition director. Rule 121. The competition director shall plan the technical organization of a competition in cooperation with the technical delegates. Where applicable, ensure that this plan is accomplished and resolve any technical problems together with the technical delegates. He shall direct the interaction between the participant in the competition and through the communication system shall be in the contact. with all the officials. The meeting manager. Rule 122. The meeting manager shall be responsible for the correct conduct of the competition. He shall check that all officials have reported for duty, appoint substitutes when necessary, and have authority to remove from duty any official who is not abiding the rules. In cooperation with the appointed marshal, he shall arrange that only authorized persons are allowed in the center of the arena. Rule of the Meet Director in Games Committee. Coordinate subcommittees, promote event and secure sponsors, process the entries and prepare event sheets, recruit and manage sufficient officials, secure needed equipment, prepare facilities for competitions, record, and distribute results. Games Committee makes decisions concerning the conduct of the meet that are not clearly defined in the rules. For example, opening heights in high jump and pole vaults, number of throws or jumps, kinds of marker to use along runways, minimum marks for the measurements, designates a jury of appeals. Technical Manager under Rule 123. The Technical Manager shall be responsible for A. Ensuring that the track, runways, circles, arcs, sectors, landing areas for field events, and all equipment and implements are in accordance with the rules. B. The placement and removal of equipment and implements according to the technical organizational plan for the competition as approved by the technical delegates. C. Ensuring that the technical presentation of the competition areas is in accordance with such plan. D. Checking and marking any personal implements permitted for the competition. E. Ensuring that he or she has received the necessary certification under Rule 135 before the competition. Event Presentation Manager. Rule 124. The Event Presentation Manager shall plan, in conjunction with the competition director, the event presentation arrangement for the competition, in cooperation with the organizational and technical delegates as and where applicable. He or she shall ensure that the plan is accomplished, resolving any relevant problems together with the competition director and the relevant delegates. She shall also direct the interaction between the members of the event presentation team using the communication system to be contact with each of them. So here is the organizational chart from the competition director, the meeting manager, to the different branch of the officials in the said competition. So let us start on the call room judges. Rule 130. The call room chief judge shall supervise the transit between the warm-up area and the competition area to ensure that the athletes, after being checked in the call room, be present and ready at the competition site for the scheduled start of their event. The callroom judges shall ensure that the athletes are wearing the national or club uniform clothing officially approved by their national governing body, that the bibs are worn correctly and correspond with start list, that shoes, number and dimension of spikes, advertising on clothing and athletes' bags comply with the rules and regulation, and that unauthorized material is not taken into the arena. The judges shall refer any unresolved issues or matters arising at the callroom referee, competition secretary, and technical information center or TIC. This is under Rule 132. The competition secretary shall collect the full results of each event, details of which shall be provided by the referee, the chief timekeeper or chief photo finish judge, and the wing gauge direct operator. He shall immediately relay these details to the announcer, record the results, and convey the result card to the competition director. Where a computerized results system is used, the computer recorder each field event site shall ensure that the full results of each event are entered into the computer system. The track results shall be input under the direction of the chief photo finish judge. The announcer and the competition director shall have access to the results via a computer. The main function of the TIC or the Technical Information Center is to ensure smooth communication between each team delegation, the organizers, technical delegates, and the competition administration regarding technical and other matters relating to the competition. For the referees, this is under Rule 125. First, one or more referees as appropriate shall be appointed for the call room, for track events, for field events, for combined events, and for running and race walking events outside the stadium. The referee for track events and for events outside the stadium shall have no jurisdiction over matters within the responsibilities of the chief judge of race walking events. 2. Referees shall ensure that the rules and applicable technical regulations are observed and shall decide upon any matters which arise during the competition, including the warm-up area, call room, and after the competition, up to the including the victory ceremony, and for which provision has not been made in these rules or any applicable technical regulation. In case of a disciplinary matter, the call room referee has authority starting from the warm-up area up to the competition site. In all other instances, the referee applicable to the event in which the athlete is or was competing shall have the authority. The respective referees of track events and for events outside the stadium shall have jurisdiction to decide placings in a race only when the judges or the disputed places are unable to arrive at a decision. The relevant track referee has the power to decide on any facts related to the starts if he does not agree with the decisions made by the start team, except in the cases when it regards a false start detected by an IAAF approved false start control apparatus, unless for any reason the referee determines that the information provided by the apparatus is obviously accurate. A track referee appointed to oversee the starts is designated start. The referee shall not act as judge or umpire, but may take any action or decision according to the rules based on his own observation. Judges. This is under Rule 126. In general, the chief judge for track event and the chief judge for the field event shall coordinate the work of judges in their respective events. When the relevant body has not already allocated the duties of the judges, they shall allocate the duties. Track and road events. The judges, who must all operate from the same side of the track course, shall decide the order in which athletes have finished, and in any case where they cannot arrive at a decision, shall refer the matter to the referee, who shall decide. Field events. The judges shall judge the record, each trial, and measure each valid trial of athletes in all field events. In the high jump and the pole vault, precise measurements should be made when the bar is raised, particularly if records are being attempted. At least 2 judges should keep a record of all trials, checking the recordings at the end of each round of trials. The appropriate judge shall indicate the validity or non-validity of a trial by raising a white or red flag as appropriate. The Marshal. This is under Rule 133. The Marshal shall have control of the arena and shall not allow any person other than the officials and the athletes assembled to compete or other authorized persons with valid accreditation to enter and remain therein. Measurement Judge, Scientific. This is under Rule 137. One or more measurement judges shall be appointed when electronic or video distance measurement or other scientific measurement device is to be used. Before the start of the meeting, he will meet the technical staff involved and familiarize himself or herself with the equipment. Before each event, he will supervise the position of the measuring instruments, taking account of the technical requirements given by the technical staff. To ensure that the equipment is operating correctly, he shall before and after the event supervise a set of measurements in conjunction with the judges and under the supervision of the referee, and if possible, the ITO assigned of the event to confirm the agreement with results achieved using a calibrated certified steel tape. A form of conformity shall be issued and signed by all those involved in the test and attach the result cards. During the competition, he shall remain in overall charge of the operation. He will report to the field events referee to certify that the equipment is accurate. So here are the numbers of officials in the competition. So 1 or more referee for the call room, 1 or more referee for the track events, as well for the field events, the combined events, and for event outside the stadium. 1 chief judge and an adequate number of judge for track event for each field event. 1 chief judge and an adequate number of assistant and 5 judges for each track race walking event. The chief judge and adequate 1 chief judge and adequate number of assistants and 8 judges for each road race walking event. Each race walking competition officials is necessary, including recorders, posting board operators, and etc. 1 chief umpire and an adequate number of umpire. 1 chief timekeeper and an adequate number of timekeepers. 1 start coordinator and an adequate number of starters and recallers. 1 or more starters assistants. 1 chief and an inadequate number of lap scorers. 1 competition secretary and an adequate number of assistants. 1 chief and an adequate number of marshals. 1 or more ring gauge operator. 1 chief photo finish judge and an adequate number of assistants. 1 chief transponder timing judge and an adequate number of assistants. 1 or more measurement judges, the scientific. 1 chief and an adequate number of courtroom judges. So here are the additional officials. Sport athletics. 1 or more announcer. 1 or more statistician. 1 advertising commissioner. 1 official surveyor. 1 or more doctors. Stewards of athletes, officials, and media. And also remember this: referees and chief judge should wear a distinctive attire or insignia. If deemed necessary, assistants may be appointed. Care should, however, be taken to keep the arena as free from officials as possible. Where women events are held, a woman doctor shall be appointed when possible. The rule of the announcer. This is under Rule 134. The announcer shall inform the public of the names, and numbers of the athletes taking part in each event, and all relevant information such as the composition of athletes, lines, and station drawn, and intermediate times. The result, placings, times, heights, distance, and points of each event should be announced at the earliest possible moment after receipt of the information. In conjunction with the event presentation manager and under the general direction of the organizational and or the technical delegates, these appointees shall be responsible for all matters of announcing protocols. The announcers for most quality is restrained in his words. The announcer must be placed so as to be able to follow the meeting properly, preferably near the competition director, and if appointed, the event presentation manager. Advertising commissioner. This is under Rule 139. The advertising commissioner, when appointed, will supervise and apply the current IAAF advertising rules and regulation, and shall determine any unresolved advertising issues or matters arising in the courtroom in conjunction with the courtroom referee. So that would be all for today. I hope you learned something. Thank you.